Okay, been dying to make a bunch of videos. Computer problems, video problems. And one of my subscribers kindly sending me a new camera. But I found this one in the meantime, so I wanted to check it out and see if it works. One reason that it's like I've been waiting all my life for this moment, and it's like if anything could go wrong, it would go wrong. For more than a year, I've been practicing my communication skills because I wanted my voice heard. So I've had this YouTube channel and expressing my point of view. Most people are against my point of view, but if I'm part of this 99%, I would at least like my point of view open for discussion. And the groups of complaints would be domestic violence. I'm a mother who has kids, and what we're doing to our kids, there are not words to describe how I feel, what we are doing to our youth. And as a mom, I got to do whatever I can to fix the system, because as a job that I take seriously at no pay, I feel to be the best mother, I should be able to provide the best planet for them to live on. So I have a few things to say in what I'd like to see changed, because a lot of the problems at the top, if we don't fix the problems at the bottom, there is no solution. How we treat each other, how we treat every other human being needs to be addressed. What is acceptable needs to be addressed. Now, as I'm making this video, as life would have it, my father just died. It's the only sad thing about him dying is all of the memories of all of the abuse I experienced from that man is being relived. So that's the sad part. It also is sad that he never lived a life where he was happy. He was a miserable, miserable person, and patterns of abuse repeat. I've done lots and lots of research on this subject, trying to find out how you break these patterns of abuse, and I haven't found anything out there. I had to prove what I see, because ultimately, yeah, we speak in science, so I've had to find the science that explains why abuse is continuing. And it is a social thing. We socially accept abuse. And until we socially say it's no longer acceptable, there is no change. I know that in order to communicate my information, we speak in the language of science, something that is proven. So I come to the table with a lot of sciences. And in order to stop abuse, we've got to change society. So it's not so much that I can do anything to change my current family situation if society doesn't play the game with me. So it involves an awful lot. This is why there's no help out there for anybody dealing with domestic violence. It's because it involves all systems. I wrote some short notes. I want to make it go, we're visual, so a lot of things I'm going to talk about, I'm going to write on a whiteboard. But all systems are flawed. Our medical, economic, political, education, justice, religion, communication, all of these systems are flawed, and all of them support and sustain abuse. And I'd also like people to understand another science, Mandelbrot set. Go and do some research on this. It explains the micro and macro. What's in the smallness is the same identical picture in the bigness. It's almost like it's a mirror. What is inside you will be in the bigness of your experiences. So this is the quantum level. So, and this is the galactic. It's as big as it can get. So there's more layers of what's inside you that are reflecting who we are. So if we want to make some changes, well, on the planet, if this is the planet, and these are the stars and the moon at this stage, if this is the bigness of ourselves, if we are concerned what's on the planet, we have to be concerned with what's in the smallness of ourselves. So that plays a huge, huge role in understanding why these systems are not working. They're not working because we don't want them to work. We have to accept some lies. Just about everything we know to be true turns out to be a big lie. And it's not so much a lie, it's we didn't really put the pieces of the puzzle together yet. And if you understand there are patterns within patterns, and patterns repeat, which is this Mandelbrot set. The Mandelbrot set is like if you had a circle. Inside this line would be made up of a whole pile of circles, exactly the same as the big circle. And if you look at the line within that line, then they're made up of a lot of little circles. So all the way down, it's the same thing. So that's why the pattern of abuse keeps repeating. And so that's where I'm kind of stuck in. Because of the abusive experiences that I've had, I can recognize patterns of abuse. So a lot of things that we do when we come up with solutions is repeat the same problem. And part of the problem we do is you turn into what you hate. Wild concept, but I'll get into that. I hated being judged. Now I find myself judging everybody else. Now that I've gained enough knowledge, it's like, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. And while I see everybody else wrong, trust everybody else sees that I'm wrong. Because they're all earning money within a flawed system that, in order for them to admit that something's wrong within their system, means they're going to be unemployed. So this is the challenge that we're faced with. One thing that I'm really loving about this Occupy Wall Street, first of all, this video set that I'm dying to make is I found out that there was a newspaper started, Occupy Wall Street, that they are wanting to hear all of our points of view. This is, I kind of am thinking that I'm probably a genius, and I come from a genetic line of geniuses. Very, very smart people are destroying the planet. There's a pattern there. So that was one problem that I needed to overcome, is what would make a genius never be able to make a mistake? And I come up with always be able to say you're wrong and never be the leader of anything, because what happens if you're wrong? You're also the one ultimately responsible. Similar to the elites right now, they are completely responsible for the poverty that they are creating, because they don't want to admit that they're wrong about something. That's the problem with all really, really intelligent people, is they can't admit they're wrong. So while I'm offering this information, and I will provide the sciences that I would like discussed that isn't discussed in schools, you won't find this information too many places, because I don't think the globe wants it, because you'll all be unemployed. But it provides opportunity, because everything that's wrong, it means that there's a lot of jobs out there to do everything that's right. So our potential is massive right now. And I think Occupy Wall Street is doing it exactly the right way, because I don't want to come in there and say I'm a leader of something. I don't want to belong to any group where somebody shows up and says that they are the leader for something, because they could be wrong. It is all about everybody having a say, and understanding the flaws within all of these systems. In order for anybody to know what's wrong, you have to know what's right. So that's kind of one rule that I live by, is never make a complaint until you are prepared to offer the solution. This is what I've been working on for the past year, is trying to improve my communication skills. So the solutions could be better understood, because it's like understanding something that you can't comprehend. I've seen this one really, really good video that says we're about to create something that we can't imagine yet. And that's what we're doing, is creating something we can imagine. And what it is that we ultimately are creating is world peace. And I think everybody else is going to be playing the same game as me, is that unless my voice is heard and I see it through the solution, I know that this game is not solved. Because ultimately the patterns of abuse that I suffer from, the rules and regulations and the way society moves, it doesn't matter what country you live in, those same rules, society as a globe, creates our wars. Because there's good guys and bad guys. And like good and evil. And there's good and evil within your family units as well. So it's good to be able to distinguish how you define right and wrong, because chances are y'all think you're right. Everybody on the planet thinks they're right about something. It's who comes up and says, you know what, here's where I'm wrong. We don't do that. We only say what we think is right. So you have to really be prepared to say I could be wrong about something. Some things that I've learned within our medical system that really needs to be addressed is we live in a causal world, which means if you get sick, there was a cause to it. Our medical profession right now is all designed so we profit off of killing everybody. There's something within our environment, there's something the way we work, live, habits, everything, that is killing us. And they're happy to oblige a pill or a treatment that eventually kills you. So that's going to be really hard for these RNs or these nurses or doctors. Anybody that's working within the medical profession does not want to hear that there's a cure to every illness. Our legal system also needs to change, because it's frankly not legal to say that there's a cure to anything. And basically where our road to medical good health is, we're going to create factories and products that are going to destroy the environment and create enough pollution that will cause cancers or some form of illness in one way or shape or form. You'll never be able to legally prove who is doing it. We've seen that in Erin Brockovich, for one. It's like she's not able to stop all of the pollution, but you could see that it was a tough fight, and that it does go on. And look at BP oil. They are getting easier and easier to kill humanity, and the medical profession can't say, yes, it's caused because of that factory. The legal profession will all say that it's your choice, it's your lifestyle. And yes, it is our lifestyle, because it's the structure of the system that you're locked into, that no way, shape, or form can you legally point a finger and say it was just that factory, they're responsible for the pollution in the air. So there are definite flaws within our justice system. The whole collapse of the economic system and our government system, everybody did everything legally. Doesn't that kind of, anybody wake up to that? Everybody did legally. They made up the laws as they went along. Same with WikiLeaks. They didn't want the secrets out, so what did they do? They rushed and started making laws so they can go out and kill somebody. Obama's right now saying he's got license to go and kill somebody. He's a psychopath. He would be like an abuser. And there are patterns within patterns. You know that if he treats society this way, he treats his kids that way. Can't get away from that. You can tell people, when you get to the stage of knowing everybody else's psychology through their actions and words that they use, then you can see the patterns, what's going on in their own family. Couldn't be too pretty, because Obama doesn't look like that great of a guy, so he can't be doing that much good for his kids. That society needs to, pay attention to those kids that are suffering. Wealthy people don't care about their children. The family that I came from, the mindset of money My father truly believed his father was a hero.